Oh boy, this video is going to cause controversy. Okay, so in my video on why we should buy more American products, I said towards the very end that my next video would be on the hypocrisy of the pro-choice side and why the fetus is a human being. So brace yourselves, because we are going to be combining religion and abortion in one video. Now, let's get one thing out of the way. Religion, most religions, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, the deistic religions, the three big ones, all are against abortion. They're against ending the life of the unborn. But let's be fair, in most of the textbooks, in the Bible, in all that, in the Quran, and in the Torah, they're very extreme with the price of, if a woman has an abortion. Now, in all three textbooks, what happens is that a woman always gets executed or beheaded or some other of that, or ostracized from society because she took away the life of her child and the life of a gift from God. The reason why I think this is a little bit too extreme is because, number one, let's face it, there are women who are excited to have children, but something happens and their body naturally flushes out the fetus. That can and does happen from time to time. It's the body rejecting the life because there's something wrong. That does biologically happen. It doesn't make the woman dirty. No, it's just biological science. Now, there are other unfortunate cases where there are women who are diagnosed with a certain type of disease like MS or something like that, and they find out they're pregnant, and they unfortunately have to get an abortion because they know the pregnancy is going to kill them. So there are unfortunate times when abortions have to be done. And I hate to admit it, but sometimes there are certain times when they have to be done. But there are other times when there are no reason for them. The reason why I say that is because there are other times when you have a mother who is very healthy, who is very active, who has no medical issues at all, and is healthy enough to carry a baby. Now, the reason why I bring up there are certain types of people that have no medical issues is because if you do not want your child, number one, you could give it to somebody who is willing to take your child. I want to get all that stuff out of the way first, because pro-choicers have a point when they do say that sometimes abortions have to be done. Yes, you are correct. In certain circumstances, yes, it can and sometimes has to be done. But pro-choicers are also very hypocritical at the same time. The reason why I say pro-choicers are hypocritical is because they care about the life of a born child into the world, but they don't care about the life of the fetus. Well, how do you think your child was born into the world? They started out as a fetus. Now, call me crazy, but we all started out as biological fetuses, and we're here today. We're allowed to give our opinions on topics like this because we were given the right to life. Our lives weren't taken from us. But there are fetuses who could have been people that, to talk about this subject or be the next history teacher and all that. But no, their voices are silenced on almost everything because their lives were taken away from them. The fetus is a human life. But pro-choicers tend to not see this. Pro-choicers tend to brush it off as an inconvenience of the result of a man and a woman having sex. And I'm surprised why people are surprised when they're a married couple or an engaged couple and they're shocked to find out that they're pregnant. When you have sex, when the sperm meets the egg and fertilization happens, and then, 3 to 6 weeks go by, there's a little peanut of a human being growing inside of you. Yeah, that's the result of fertilization during sex. This is biology. This is settled science. This is how we all come to be. So it surprises me that people are actually shocked that a baby is made when they have sex. It just amazes me that people are actually still shocked that this is a reality. Now, besides that being absolutely astonishingly amazing to me that people are shocked by this information, what also is very hypocritical about pro-choicers is that they tend to go along the lines of, we're the voice of the unheard. Not really. If you're the voices of the unheard, then why do you advocate abortion? Why do you advocate taking the lives of the unborn? Because they're the unheard. Their opinions are silenced. Think about it. Their opinions are silenced. Their voices aren't heard. Their opinions are silenced. Because they're not allowed to have opinions. Their right to life is taken from them. And honestly, if you're a pro-choicer and you're watching this, you're probably not a bad person. You're probably a decent-hearted human being. And look, if you support abortion, that's fine. That's your opinion. I don't. I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong. For moral reasons, and the science is settled, biology is science, and the science says a fetus is alive. And the other thing I want to bring up about the hypocrisy of the pro-choice side is that on a intellectual level, pro-choicers tend to agree with climate change science, and I agree with that because the earth is heating up. But at the same time, though, pro-choicers tend to say it's an alternative fact that that a fetus isn't alive. But it's science. It's science, though. If you agree with the fact that the science is settled that climate change is happening, then why is it so hard for you pro-choicers to agree with the fact that a fetus is alive? It's biology. It's settled science. But look, that's the hypocrisy of the pro-choice side. Look, the pro-choice side is not necessarily bad because politically I'm pro-choice. On a political level, I am for people doing whatever the hell they want to do to themselves as long as they please, as long as they don't harm anybody else, because I don't know what's good for them, they don't know what's good for me. It keeps it fair. But on a personal level, I'm pro-life. Personal and political levels, completely different things. Now, let's talk about why the fetus is alive. Now, we already covered that it's settled science that one of the results of sex is pregnancy. Now, from that and onward forward, after the sperm meets the egg, then after fertilization, 3 to 6 weeks is where the nervous system and the heartbeat begins. And then over the next months, the brain function forms, the arms form, the genitalia starts forming and all that. The baby's body starts to grow essentially. And over the months, with women who are expecting a child or who are excited to have children see the process of their baby grow through each monthly ultrasound. And and even the fathers of these children are excited to see the growth of their child. Because a child is genuinely a natural gift in general. Children are genuinely a blessing. This is just, this is my opinion, but children are a blessing. Children make people happier. That children, like if you're a older sibling, if you're a younger sibling, or if you're an expecting parent and you're watching this, just the fact that a child is in your life makes you happier and your stress levels go down. And so a fetus is a human life. The biology is settled. There's no other way to look at it. The biology is settled. But I'm not advocating the right of a woman to have an abortion being taken away. I'm not advocating that. I am not advocating that whatsoever. If you're watching this video and you're a pro-lifer, and you're thinking, he's advocating a woman's right to an abortion being taken away. No, I'm not. I never said in this video at all, I think a woman's right to an abortion should be taken away. I never said that at all, and I am not for taking a woman's right to an abortion away. I don't agree with it, but I am not in favor of taking a woman's right to an abortion away. There are pro-choicers, pro-lifers like me, and / pro-choicers, who are in favor of preserving a woman's right to an abortion, but at the same time, we don't agree with it. And I just want to stress this one last point. If you are a pro-choicer on a personal level, if you think that abortion is okay, look up Kermit Gosnell. Your opinion will definitely change. Kermit Gosnell, I'll give you a brief rundown of this sick, fucking, monster, deplorable of a human being. He basically, what he did, he's in prison for 3 consecutive life terms without parole plus 30 fucking years. That says something. That's his sentence. And the reason why he's in prison for 3 consecutive life terms plus 30 years is because so what he was doing for almost 30 years was giving illegal abortions at a free abortion clinic in Philadelphia. And you're thinking, what, illegal abortions? What are you talking about? Well, abortions on a legal level can only extend to 20 weeks. But what this guy was doing, he was doing 24 plus week abortions. And, look, I've said this several times on my YouTube channel. I am not a fan of Donald Trump, not a fan of Hillary Clinton. I didn't vote for either one of them. And I'm not defending either one of them. But when Donald Trump said that there are some women who had got abortions up to their due date, he's not lying. Kermit Gosnell did exactly this. What he did was he would automatically right away threaten the health of a woman by using unsterilized needles and instruments and all that. And also, he didn't have a proper oxygen machine. His oxygen tubing was the same tubing he used to suck out the fetuses, which is just, 1, disgusting, and 2, affects the health of the woman. 2 women have died under his care. Not only that, what this guy was doing with these babies, essentially, that were almost ready to be born, what this guy was doing was he was taking them out, jamming scissors in the back of their brains, snipping their brain stems, and throwing them into fucking plastic boxes like they were garbage. But then, this guy got even more fucking sick. And this guy was so proud of doing 24 plus week abortions that this guy took the severed feet of these babies and put them in jars. How fucking sick is that? This guy was doing that. Keep in mind, this guy was doing that. And the monstrous acts of inhumanity that this guy was doing, besides endangering women just in general by using the unsterilized needles and instruments, this guy was literally a monster. And he's in prison for it. I was on the fence about abortion starting in the summer of 2016 after I read stories of some women who had serious medical repercussions afterwards, and nurses, men and women alike, who had to partake in abortions and then see the fetus actually fight for its life. And former abortion doctors, men and women alike, who done so many abortions that they made them feel sick in the stomach, knowing that they were taking human lives. And after hearing about Kermit Gosnell, I couldn't help but consider myself pro-life. I couldn't help but label myself pro-life. Because what that guy did was fucking disgusting. Monstrous. It's a Kermit Gosnell story that pushed me to the pro-life side. And look, on a political level, I'm still pro-choice. As a libertarian, I am for freedoms and choices that people make for themselves. But don't infringe on the right of the unborn. The unborn are their own separate person. The biology says that. The science is settled, and if you're watching this video and you're thinking I'm wrong with the science being settled, I don't know from what non-biased point of view to point out to you why the science is settled. Anyway, see you guys.